Live Barker Podcast audio commentaries.
Thanks to your generous donations to our Kickstarter funding campaign, Clive Barker Podcast presents Fundraiser 3.
Hell on Earth.
So this is the Candyman audio commentary.
Woohoo!
Yeah. We're actually almost done. I think
Candyman.
don't do it.
Do it in front of a mirror.
No. So I think we've got only one left, right? A Midnight Meat Train is after this, and then that's it.
Sure.
Oh no, we got Candyman 2.
And 2.
Also.
Yeah, we got to do Candyman 2.
Oh, right, because we did 3.
Yeah, we did
Day of the
3
Dead.
during the bad movie section, and now we're doing 1 and 2, and then Midnight Meat Train.
That's right.
Yeah.
I just want to let our listeners know that we also talked about the Candymans. That's not wrong. It's actually the title of the episode on episode 51, where we talked about Candyman 1, 2, and 3, right, Ryan?
Yeah. That was fun.
And if you want to hear about The Forbidden, the Books of Blood short story that Clive Barker wrote, that was back in episode 10, Books of Blood, volume 5. So if you go check out those episodes, you will find more stuff about Candyman.
All right. Yeah, and there may be some repeated stuff in here because it's been a while since we did those episodes.
Sure. It's always fun to go back to Candyman, though. It's one of the most successful adaptations of a Clive Barker story.
So I've got the special edition DVD. I don't think that many people have. There was like a Blu-ray in Canada, I think, but when you try to buy it, it's really expensive now.
Yeah,
it is.
And
I'm watching the Blu-ray edition.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah.
I heard that it looks the same as the DVD, or like the quality wasn't any better.
It's okay.
I think I had read that on like Amazon reviews or something.
I can't really tell. Yeah, I mean, it's not 100% like crisp HD, I guess. So yeah, you're probably right. You can see a little bit of grain on it, but for the most part, it's not particularly HD. Yeah.
Well, and Candyman is not surround sound anywhere, right? I think it's 2-channel stereo.
I'm not sure.
one I have, yeah. It is.
Yeah, and the special edition doesn't give you any audio features except for like dubbing and stuff, and it doesn't say what kind of sound it is.
So what's the verdict? There is no Blu-ray of Candyman official Blu-ray in America?
No, I don't think so. Yeah.
There's not. Twilight, the company Twilight Time owns the rights. They usually put out Columbia TriStar movies.
Oh.
And they'll probably put out something soon, or maybe they'll, maybe Scream Factory, like you were saying, Ryan, will do something.
Yeah, that would be really nice.
Yeah, I'm finding a Candyman Blu-ray, unrated, but Amazon has a German one. I think this is German. There's another one that's $82.99. Okay, that's a limited edition from Germany as well.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so I guess if you have a Blu-ray of Candyman, it's probably valuable at this point.
Yeah, I have it. Mom paused right at the TriStar like skyline, and then the horse will start flying into the screen or whatever that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I guess I can do the countdown when we're ready.
Oh,
so people can sync up to the beginning of the movie and sync up to our commentary.
As we're getting ready to start this, did either of you see this in the theater? I didn't. I did, young.
Yeah.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Cool. I bet it was a good experience. I got to see it on video, and when I saw it on video, it was pretty scary watching it on a little small room.
I don't think I've seen it in the theater. Maybe I've seen it in the theater at a later time, like in a movie festival or something.
Yeah.
So
I saw part 2 in the theater. That's all I saw.
Oh.
I remember buying the VHS tape for part 2.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I always like the cover to that, or the poster for that movie.
Yeah.
With the bees and.
Not the bees. Okay, so
So you got the Pegasus?
yes.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, play. Okay,
Here comes the
Pegasus.
horsey.
Yeah, his wings look so fake.
I know, especially on Blu-ray.
I don't know.
But what are they gonna do? I guess they could redo him.
Good old TriStar.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys noticed, but there was a recent article with Bernard Rose about the opening of Candyman that we shared on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
I did see that. I didn't read it though.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty good. They're talking about how, for example, they wanted to make the words that the credits that come up and down, they wanted them to actually move in and out of frame continuously, but they discovered that it looked jerky when they tried to do that, so they ended up with the compromise of just having them whoosh in, stop, and then whoosh out.
It still did kind of, like, watching this last night, I was thinking, yeah, it seems like they're trying to make it sort of flow with the traffic and stuff.
Mm-hmm. And there was some influence here by that movie that Philip Glass scored called Kuya Niskatsi. There was a bunch of movies like that. Hey, there's executive producer Clive Barker.
Yeah, Clive Barker.
He was getting so many daily tapes in his studio.
Yeah. I wonder how they would feel about seeing that stuff, and because this movie seems like it comes together so well because of the music.
Yeah.
Seeing all this without the music, it would be a completely different experience.
It's like the John Carpenter score for Halloween. If you didn't have that opening theme with the pumpkin going in, it just wouldn't play the same.
Yeah.
And this is the way this movie opens up. It sets a tone.
Yeah, I think this is probably the strongest music in a Clive Barker movie out of all of them.
And recently, 2 days ago from this recording, Philip Glass released a new piece of music from Candyman. He came up with a Candyman suite for violin and piano that's available on iTunes right now.
Oh, it's a new recording?
I think so.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize what that was.
It said surprise.
That digital release? Yeah,
yes.
I remember that,
It said on sale for only $1.99 through Halloween.
Oh, I'm going to get that.
Yeah, surprise trick or treat from Philip Glass.
So
it was performed by... Go ahead. I was going to say it was performed by pianist Michael Riesman and violinist Chase Sproul. So I think it was done for this.
That opening line, it really kind of set the tone, and especially seeing this in the theater made me think, oh, this is going to be super faithful to the story because they're lifting lines right out of the short story.
Yeah.
I always got really fascinated by this thing where it looks like a bunch of bees are just rising up in the city. Yeah. And then nobody talks about that for the rest of the movie.
Yeah, it's just kind of this cool, mysterious thing that's supposed to intrigue you. And this is this opening here is pretty gruesome. So is that Ted Raimi?
Yes, it
Billy?
is. Ted Raimi plays Billy.
Yep.
I never noticed that until last night.
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, oh, he's the guy that gets hit in the head with the hammer by...
I first saw it, I thought it was Sam Raimi. No, Sam, but it's...
Yeah.
I didn't know he had a brother at the time.
You know, a lot of people get upset about that Walking Dead thing where the eye popped out. I don't know if this is a spoiler, but
it is.
Nobody got upset. Nobody got upset when Midnight Meat Train had this guy pop not just one but two eyes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, they're having sex in a horror movie, so they're gonna die.
Yeah.
She is. Yeah, because she's bearing her breasts.
So there's an interesting theme here that they sort of lost in all of the sequels that these stories may or may not be true, but they're what keeps Candyman alive. That's
the fascinating part of the Forbidden is that actually Candyman was not Daniel Robitaille. He was not the painter, the slave. You know, he was just a myth that someone had come up with, and then so many people believed in him that actually he appeared. He materialized. Yeah. It was like the power of invocation. This entity would appear.
Yeah, and building his story bigger and bigger made him more and more powerful.
They offered him sacrifices.
Yeah.
Like with the baby. Isn't that...
Right, yeah, which they sort of cut back from that a little bit in this movie.
Yeah.
And the special effects in this movie are from Bob Keane.
Oh wow.
That scared me right there when I first saw it.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a good jump scare.
There's a lot
It
of
reminds
jump
me of
scares
that Driller Killer movie
I don't know that one.
Yeah, I've seen that.
where the drill comes through the floor of the the ceiling, and you see the blood come out. Is that the movie I'm thinking? I think so. So college.
Virginia Madison.
Yeah, why do
She's
they
on
have,
Instagram
why
and
do they
Twitter.
have lockers in college? This is like a high school.
Yeah. Virginia
So,
Madison is like, this is the first time I ever saw her. She's very attractive.
She's very beautiful. She still is. She has an Instagram at Virginia Madsen, and she has a Twitter account. It's at MadlyV.
She doesn't look that different now from Candyman.
Right. She's working on the Designated Survivor TV series now.
Oh.
And her brother's the actor Michael Madison.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who was in
Mr. Blonde. Mr. Blonde, you know.
Yeah, he was in Hellraiser 6.
No.
No.
Oh no, that's a guy that looks kind of the same.
Yeah.
He was
Michael
the-
Madsen is the guy who cuts the ear off of the guy in
Yeah.
Reservoir Dogs.
Right.
Wow, there's a lot of students in that hall.
Yeah.
I've never had a big lecture class like that before.
Do you
I've
guys
never
think-
been to a...
Is Trevor just trying to look like, trying to be smarter than her right now because he had promised that he wouldn't debunk urban myths in his lecture until she was done, and then he's doing it anyway. He just wants to say he wants to be smug and say I'm better than you, and you're not as important
Maybe.
as I am.
There is a smugness to him. Yeah, I
Yeah.
would agree with that.
Well, he does use the excuse that, hey, I have a curriculum
Yeah,
to stick
I was
to.
going to bring that.
Yeah, he does say
Yeah.
that, but at the same time, if he promised that he wouldn't do it, then then why is he doing it?
Right.
He shouldn't have promised that. Then he should have said, "No, you're just gonna have to deal with it."
Kind of gives us a early idea that Trevor's, not a very faithful
No,
person.
and
Yeah, there's a conflict.
in the short story, I forget was it really open that he cheated on her and she knew about it? I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here it's kind of like she suspects it, but she's too scared to say anything about it, or she's too scared.
Well, she says something.
Yeah,
I guess.
I guess too scared to push him about it. Like when she'll accept whatever answers he gives about it.
Well, Stacy kind of just gives her the stink eye right there, and
Yeah,
she's the only student who offers to say hi and shakes her hand,
yeah,
and she's the last one to leave. She's
Yeah.
like marking her territory right there.
yeah,
Doesn't say bye when she says bye.
yeah.
I like this actor who plays Trevor.
I do
He's
too.
not too bad.
Yeah,
He's done a lot
been
of
in-
stuff.
Mhm.
I don't like his performance. I mean, maybe it's just the way the ending works, but the way when he says Helen 5 times in the mirror just seems so forced.
I think he looks in pain when he says that.
Yeah,
Well, I
I really
think
do. I
that's
think he
what-
was good in that moment.
I think that's
Regret.
what they were going for, but it's a real stretch to have to do it 5 times.
Sure.
But yeah,
I know what you mean.
we're not there yet, though.
So, was this movie being done at the same time as Lord of Illusions?
No, I think it was being done at the same time as Hellraiser 3.
Yeah, I saw.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I remember that distinctly. The first movies, Clive Barker related movies I ever saw in the theater were Hellraiser 3 and Candyman, and they were in the same year.
Yeah.
Because I think it had been a long time since there was another Clive Barker movie. I think like 80 or 90 for Nightbreed.
Yeah, this is 92.
Yeah.
You can tell it's 92 because she's using like some word processor like WordStar.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
terribly
Yeah, I know.
primitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Later on, when she's calling Trevor and he's not home, they sort of focus on the nightstand. I'm like, oh, hey, there's an Amiga 500 on her nightstand, and then they close.
You nerd.
They zoomed in on it, and it was a typewriter.
Oh, I got you. So this reminds me, do you guys remember when it was announced that Clive was maybe getting involved in something called Creepypasta?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
It was
I
going to
remember
be
that
about, it was going to be about this kind of like not urban legends, but more like internet legends that were written down, like Slender Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Slender Man came from the Something Awful forums or something like that. And then they said, oh, Clive Barker is going to work for Creepypasta. And I was going to, I thought that was weird because nobody else ever mentioned anything about that. But
it's another.
I think that'd be perfect for him to do some stuff like that.
It's another Zombies versus Gladiators.
Could be another one of those projects.
Yeah.
Just fell to the wayside.
Yeah, sometimes I think it'd be better if the public didn't hear about some of these things.
Yeah. All right, so here comes another urban legend.
Yeah.
And Cabrini Green, I mean, of course, I'm sure a lot of people know this, but it was a real place. It was a real neighborhood that got torn down years ago. We'll add some show notes about Cabrini Green. There's a lovely photo essay from Time magazine.
The apartments in there look horrible. I mean, they look like that people shouldn't be allowed to live in them. Like it's a condemned building. Except for Anne Marie's apartment looks decent, but all the other ones, like where Jake is sleeping, it looks like he's sleeping in a burned out shell.
Just trash.
Yeah.
Sleeping on trash.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's all.
It was a 70-acre complex on Chicago's north side. It was it's pretty old.
So the interiors were really apartments of a building, or I thought maybe they built sets. They really shot in a building.
Know. And did Bernard Rose write this adaptation?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and I thought, at first it was so different from, but it's kind of like Midnight Meat Train, that it's the way it's adapted is so smart that it works and it's cool.
Yeah, the guy who plays Trevor, Xander Berkeley, I just remember his name.
Oh yeah, right.
He played John Connor's stepfather in Terminator 2. That's where.
Oh right. Oh man,
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get your ass to school.
Yeah.
Go help your mom.
Yeah.
She's not my mother, Todd.
And he got the worst death in that movie because the T-1000 kills him by just ramming like that blade through his mouth.
And the milk carton.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the kid from T2 ended up playing Pet Sematary 2 or something.
Oh god.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. I've heard that he was pretty full of himself on set while he was doing that movie because he had been in T2. So.
What, Edward Furlong?
Yeah.
Yeah. So here she's doing some. So the building she's living is based off the same kind of structure that.
Yeah, I didn't quite understand that. So how far away is she from Cabrini Green? I guess just across the tracks or across whatever.
Well, I think they're just saying that this building was supposed to be like another social.
Another project.
Another project. Yeah.
But they put plaster on the walls and sold them as condos. So
here's the thing: what are they doing in regards to Candyman? I mean, what are they doing? Is there like a PhD thesis?
A thesis,
but usually
like
theses are personal, right? It's not like a group thing. So I'm just wondering, why does she have a colleague to work with?
Well, yeah, maybe Bernadette is like an assistant or something.
Could be, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, because she's a teacher, right? Virginia Madsen, Helen, she's a teacher.
I think she's a grad student.
Oh, okay.
No, they are.
But I guess grad students are teachers a lot of the time. But
the thing that always bugged me about this scene here is that they push in the pharmacy or the mirror thing on the other side, and it's like, who's going to put it back?
Yeah, and that could have shattered over there when they did that.
And it could have fell over and shattered on the floor, right?
Yeah.
They don't really, nobody's on the other side holding it, so it's kind of weird when she kind of pushes it out.
Yeah.
But, that's just irrelevant.
Yeah.
So that's really strange, though, that people would leave those openings in walls just because of the bathroom. It's not very safe.
There are some dumb things along the way that Helen does that sort of set her whole, future in motion, and this is the first one.
Oh yeah, Candyman. And of course, Tony Todd. For me, the first contact with Tony Todd's work was The Crow. For me.
Oh, okay. What
Platoon
year was The
for
Crow?
me.
Was the 93?
94.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But mine was Tony Todd was, or no, Night of the Living Dead remake.
Yeah,
He was in that.
me too.
That's what I saw.
Night of the Living Dead
that's
remake.
what I saw.
Yeah, see, I thought that was an Amiga 500, but then they zoom in on it closer, and it's a typewriter.
Typewriter.
Yeah, they still used it back then.
This was another good little scare I remember when I first watched it.
That's kind of
Who
cheap.
the hell does that?
It's cheap, man.
Yeah,
but
there's another one with a dog barking, too.
Yeah.
If I did that, my wife would kill me.
Yeah, I know. It's not cool.
Get a punch in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Oh yeah.
But one thing that bugged me, and I mean, we're going to do Candyman, too, but there are jump scares in there where it's just like a black person. And,
it's like...
oh, that's not Candyman, that's just a different black guy.
Yeah, that was my biggest complaint about that.
Seems like, that seems a little racist,
They did that like every 10 minutes in that movie.
I know.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, it looks like they play onto that idea that, if you're white, you're going to be afraid of this guy because he's in the dark corner and he's black. And you're right, it does feel a little racist.
I guess at the same time, it could be a commentary on that, but I don't know. The rest of the movie's pretty good.
Well, there's your answer. She lives 8 blocks away from Cabrini Green.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
No, I was just going to say she seemed pretty enthusiastic about the whole thing, and now that they're actually on the way there, she's having second thoughts.
I know. She was all excited, and now she's got like 800 different forms of mace in her purse.
The reality of it being down in this kind of area is probably hitting her.
What were you going to say, Rob?
This actress that plays Bernadette is done a lot of TV work, and
wasn't
I don't know
she
if y'all
like a Playboy
are y'all
model?
Van Damme fans? She might have been.
I thought there
don't
was
know.
a big controversy about that she was some kind of Playboy model.
Oh, you're talking about Lisa Bonet.
No, that's not her.
No, I thought it was Bernadette.
Oh, okay.
No, this is Casey Lemons.
But she was in Hard Target.
Oh.
If y'all have seen Hard Target.
How does it feel to be hunted? You tell me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Silence of the Lambs. She was also in Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, wow.
That's right. That's another movie. You're right.
I must be confusing her with somebody else.
She played Sterling. She was another buddy. She always plays little roles, I guess, sidekicks of people. She was the sidekick of Jodie Foster's in that movie. And
she was even in The Cosby Show, where she played, according to IMDb, Miss McKegney.
Oh. That show was on for a long time. I bet they had a lot of guest stars.
Yeah. I was looking back at some Family Ties, and they had a ton of guest stars.
These guys are kind of dressed like the 80s. But I guess the 80s weren't
like 80s rappers?
Uh-huh. Yeah. 80s, like Rum DMC.
Yeah, but I guess the 80s weren't that far back from 92.
Nobody has a big watch hanging from their neck, though.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, no, it's...
Yeah, two women going in there, it's pretty brave. Or pretty stupid, I can't tell. Sure you're not the Popo?
Please. Yeah, Popo.
And that one guy has a super deep voice. He's like, hey, who are you trying to see?
Yeah, I know. You're right.
You're looking for Candyman, bitch.
Yeah, the lineup scene is hilarious with all the guys saying that line.
Yeah, they seem really uncomfortable.
You'll get to it later. Yeah.
So this, I don't know if this is a set or if this was shot on location, so I have no idea. If anybody knows, just leave us a comment.
Geez, yeah, the way this building is treated, you'd think that it would be condemned.
Yeah.
Nothing a little whitewash wouldn't fix.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, so the projects were always like they always cut corners when building projects. I mean, it would have those cinder block stairways. They wouldn't bother like paint them or anything.
Yeah.
And I mean, bathrooms would have bad plumbing.
Yeah, and somebody spray painted right on top of Anne Marie's door.
Yeah.
Sweets for the sweet.
Yeah.
It's all part of the mystique, Ryan. It's all part of the social. I'm trying to come up with some PhD terms.
Yeah.
Yeah, the social impact of the urban legends, I guess. Yeah, not a good idea to go into an abandoned building in an apartment block controlled by gangs.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would definitely find something in there.
Yeah.
Even if it's just like a pile of dirty laundry and...
Yeah, or people probably use it to do drug deals or, squatting.
And vagrant kind of, behavior.
Yeah, even if they're not there now, they might come in anytime.
And they can close the door behind them, and they're trapped.
Yeah, right.
I guess it just adds to the tension.
Yeah.
So that's where the little girl got killed, or the baby.
Yeah.
So was Ruth Regine a little girl, or was she a middle-aged woman, or I can't remember what they said at the beginning. Was she a little girl?
No, Ruthie Jean was an adult, and she had a baby.
Oh, okay.
So you go ahead.
When they show the painting here that's painted on the other side of the wall around the hole to make like a big mouth, I always had a different vision of what it was supposed to look like.
Oh, because, from the short story?
Yeah, from the short story, it's described almost like this mouth, like with his head thrown back, and it's like yelling, and there's big bug eyes and like hair that's painted on the wall and stuff.
Yeah.
And then here they went the other approach. They just went with like, Tony Todd's face, like the Candyman. So, but it's definitely much more intimidating when you read the short story.
In Candyman, in the short stories, his skin is kind of yellowish, described as yellowish, isn't it?
I think
kind
so.
Kind of a yellowish kind of tone to it, waxy.
Yeah, he's not really like a
his coat. Well, I mean, he doesn't have like a pin. He doesn't have like a pin coat. His coat is very. Well, I can't remember. I'd have to go back and look in the story, but his coat was different.
Mm-hmm. Well, the only thing that I think that the Candyman movies got right was that what they added to it kind of made it their own, and it made it pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I really like the whole idea of Daniel Robitaille being a painter, and he had a forbidden affair with like a white lady from, a white daughter from a plantation owner, and then he smeared, they cut his hand and that smeared him with honey, and the bees killed him. I think that's really well thought of.
It's kind of funny she's using Helen's coat to put over the filth on that bathtub so she can sit down. She's like, you put me in this position, I'm going to ruin your coat.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I think that the only way to make a full movie and a series out of this was to expand the mythology a little bigger than what was in the short story.
Yeah.
I love that reveal. It's a great reveal.
Yeah, and of course she ran out of film.
Yeah. Now this thing with the candy too, that's from the story if I recall. With the razors, isn't that?
Oh yeah, right. That's right out of the short story, and that's never,
at the end.
There's nothing else explained about that. It's just a weird, creepy thing in this movie.
Yeah.
I like this moment where she kind of feels woozy by looking at Candyman. It's like something's passing between them.
Yeah.
Every time she gets around him, she feels that way.
Yeah.
That kind of touches on the candy with like, you ever heard of that old urban legend of people getting...
Yeah, that was really big when I was a kid. People would.
But it was just a legend, right? Nobody really did that, did they?
I never. I only heard it secondhand, like an urban.
I think it happened between a family one time, and
Okay, you're talking. I don't know much about Halloween, but you're talking about an urban legend that someone was putting razors and candy and then apples.
I heard apples. Yeah, I heard the apples too. And then by the time kids get home, they don't know who gave them what. So,
Right.
yeah.
Because I remember
I got a rock.
Huh?
I got a rock.
Yeah.
Yes.
Speaking of which, I got to buy Halloween candy. Have you guys bought Halloween candy for kids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Like a big bad mixture of stuff. It's here in a few days.
Wow. Yeah. Right.
I'll be 37.
Your birthday's
That's right.
on Halloween?
Yeah.
I had forgotten that. Wow.
That's a cool day for a birthday. You get to party every year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dress up.
What are you gonna dress up this Halloween, Rob?
I bought this clear, creepy,
Mask.
Mask. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of
Oh,
it's
okay.
like a female mask. I'm gonna put over that a white mask.
Okay.
I'm just doing a random thing. It's just nothing. It's just kind of a custom, and I'm gonna do wear like a long trench coat. And
Wow.
have like a knife or something. I don't know. I was just come up with something quick off the top of my head.
Okay. I thought you might be like the Joker or something because you have that mask.
That mask, you can't wear that mask.
Oh.
The way he made it, you just put it up on. I wanted it to display it,
Sure.
so he just made it to where I could display it.
Okay. I'm gonna be the Motorhead War Pig.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I saw that mask you were. I didn't know what that was. I didn't know the Motorhead
it's-
in the band.
It's always on that design in some way or another is always on the
Motorhead album covers.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
always
like
that-
like a mascot kind of a thing.
like a Eddie from
Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden. Yeah. Thank you.
And
The resident metalhead help me out.
That'd be
these
cool.
I always wondered where her dog went in this, in this scene here. She just the dog conveniently disappears for this scene.
Yeah, that's a good catch.
A dog like that wouldn't leave them.
No, and it'd probably be barking and bugging them and stuff. I mean, I guess you could have locked him in the bedroom.
That's a pretty nice looking little studio apartment, though.
Yeah.
It kind of brings that contrast that between expectation and reality. And not everybody in a project is going to be marginalized or is going to be like a criminal or anything.
Yeah, I hate how people get put into that box just because they live in a bad area that everybody's bad.
But
Sure.
I would have hoped that she, once that murder happened next door, she would find a way to get out of there.
Yeah, maybe it's not that easy, when you're.
But she's
when you're
just
poor.
trying to do
It's
her
like-
best because she's obviously working at a grocery store that probably doesn't pay very much.
A woman and a baby got murdered in the apartment next door to her, and she's a woman with a baby. She just thought getting
Right.
a big dog would be enough.
That's why she's saying that she's scared.
Yeah.
Candy.
Now, in the short story, she's not a very sympathetic character, if I remember that
Oh yeah.
mother.
And in the short story, Purcell
Gives her
had
baby up for sacrifice.
had like a teenage boy with him in this dinner scene.
Yeah.
I love that dude with the long hair. He's in the second movie a lot,
Yeah.
and he's just a great character. I love this dude.
He looks like Beethoven.
Yeah, a little bit. I forgot his name. I forgot his name.
He's worked with Bernard Rose before. He might have been in that, but Bernard Rose did a Beethoven biopic movie called Immortal Beloved, and I think he might have had a small role in it.
Okay, yeah.
That line, actually, Purcell, we're about to bury you, seems a little out of place.
No, she's just, letting him know that, F you, man. We're not scared of you.
Yeah.
Purcell. Professor Philip Purcell. It was played by Michael Culkin.
Yeah, Michael Culkin. And he does come back for the sequel, right? Doesn't he get bumped off at the beginning?
Yeah,
he gets bumped off at the beginning.
Actually, looking at his IMDb page, it's interesting. Michael began his screen career in '92 with the horror film Candyman.
This was his first movie. Huh.
Yeah,
Wow. He must have been but I bet he was a theater actor.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
was a veteran
seems like
actor of film, screen, and theater. He was British. Yeah, this is where they flesh out the whole thing.
Yeah.
I like the way he tells it. It's just something very. It reminds me of how my grandfather would tell a story. You know,
Oh, okay.
very kind of detailed. You know, it sucks you in. You want to listen to it. You know, just the way with his voice.
Uh-huh. What was your grandfather's name?
Edward.
Okay. I always wanted to ask you.
Edward Gardner.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I always wanted to ask you. Ridenour, is that like French or something?
No, it's German.
German. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Hey, Danhauser's German too.
Yeah.
Austrian, yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha. My name means piglet. Yeah, that's true. Leitão in Portuguese means piglet. So, I guess I'm Joe Piglet.
I've always wanted to look up what my name means. How do you find that out? You'll have to tell me later.
Yeah, sure. I like this lighting scene here. They only have like a sliver of light kind of diffused over her face. She was Princess Irulan in Dune as well.
Yeah,
Oh,
she
wow.
opens the movie up.
Oh, that's
She
that's
has-
right.
It's a small, short, but very important role because she opens the movie.
Yeah, 1980, right?
1984.
84. Okay.
Yeah, because I did see that in the theater.
Oh, you saw Dune in the theater?
Yeah, nobody was there. Nobody. Or
Oh, that's a shame.
Wasn't that R-rated? I forget.
no, it's PG-13.
Oh, is it? Okay. I thought the first PG-13 movie was Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Yeah, it was, but so I mean, or maybe it was PG.
Okay.
I have the DVD. I'll have to check on it after this. Watch this. I have it because I know it wasn't R because we saw it.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, they said that Candyman, or Daniel Robitaille, he was killed, and then they burned his ashes and scattered them over Cabrini Green. But I guess he's talking about the location.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just wondering if that particular place had like plantations and stuff like that back in the 1800s.
Right.
Or if that, yeah. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
well, and then this whole story sort of moves to... I was thinking about that, too, because this whole story moves to... what do you call
The
it?
South.
Yeah, it moves
Louisiana.
to New Orleans. Yeah, and I was trying to think, does that make sense, that transition from here to New Orleans? I don't know.
Well, it could be that it's just part of the urban legend and it's not
Yeah.
true. That could be it as well.
Right, yeah.
I took that as like the urban legend can go where it wants to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good point.
It expands everywhere.
That little kid looks sleek at the end of the movie. He's got a little bow tie. And
I know.
Yeah.
He's got a cool looking hat too.
I always that ending. I always kind of wondered, was that were they paying her respect that she helped kill the Candyman, or were they giving her
That's a
the hook
question
to
I
say
always-
that you are the new Candyman now?
That
I think
really-
the first thing that you said. I think.
yeah.
Because Jake did see Candyman's body in the fire.
Hmm.
They probably don't do that in movies now, where an adult is telling a kid it'll be our secret.
Yeah, it's kind
Right.
of weird and creepy.
Yeah.
According to Bernard Rose in that recent article, that when they shot this, I think it was November in Chicago, and it was absolutely freezing. That's why they always have these thick coats.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, sure.
He said it was so cold that it snapped the film a couple of times.
Jeez.
God, that's bad, man. Because I've seen real film and held it. It's really thick.
And he was actually in the helicopter with the helicopter pilot when they were shooting those the opening for the movie.
Oh yeah.
And,
People
and
in
he
the
was
Those are
future
some of
will
my
probably
favorite shots in the film.
people in the future will probably just think all those shots were done by a drone.
Well, there were no drones at the time.
Well,
But yeah, nowadays
that's what
they
I'm
would be
saying,
able to
yeah.
do it. You know?
Yeah.
And
Nowadays
that the
it's not
pilot told Bernard Rose, "You're going to fall out. It's not a good idea." And he was like, "Yeah, I've had enough too." So they just landed the helicopter and let the helicopter pilot rig that camera to the helicopter and do it himself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This is a gruesome, graphic story.
Yeah.
It certainly has some very well crafted flashbacks. You know, the
Yeah.
flashbacks they look like another movie.
I like that tough guy.
That tough guy, yeah. I know.
Yeah.
It
Looks
feels
like a
like it's the
Black Panther.
70s. He's not telling a story from the 70s, though, but it feels like it's from the 70s.
Yeah.
That
He's got
flashback.
that leather jacket and he's got
Yeah,
the face.
just
And the color tone of that video
the color
is like
tone
kind of yellowish, like a
does
70s
that.
movie.
Yeah, agree. That's what it does.
It's John Shaft.
Oh God, that is so
Yeah, that's
so brutal.
That disturbed me when I first saw it.
Wow, yeah.
And I didn't understand what he meant when he's like they found it floating in a toilet. I was like, what's he talking about? I was
Yeah.
like, oh, he's talking about a little kid's private parts.
Yeah.
And the little kid says very nonchalantly, "Can't fix that. Better off dead."
Yeah.
It's like, damn, kid, you're cold-blooded.
Yeah.
Helen, why you have to do stupid things?
Yeah.
Now she's going into a public restroom for men.
Yeah.
There's shit all over the wall.
Yeah,
right?
and in a way, all the this non-believing stuff is kind of this guy's fault. This phony Candyman that comes along.
Mhm. Sweet's really sweet. I mean, why do that to the bathroom in your own neighborhood? Jesus.
Yeah.
Bathrooms like that are the worst places to go. I would never enter a bathroom.
No, this
like
is
that.
probably the worst bathroom I've ever seen, and that includes like Tijuana.
Oh, boy.
Train Spotting had one of the worst bathrooms I've ever seen.
Yes, I was going to bring that up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Worst toilet in Scotland.
Didn't they use like crap to write on the walls there?
Yeah, Rob just
Yeah.
said that.
I don't know if they use real crap for real.
obviously
But I
not.
think that's what they're going for, though.
That's what they're going for. Sure.
Yeah. Oh,
This looks like a set.
it's just
This
totally
looks like-
caked on.
Yeah, it looks like a set.
Yeah, no, I
Looks
mean, this
the walls.
if a bathroom was
It
really
looks like
like
there's
this,
a pile of crap next to the toilet.
it
too.
would have been chained up and condemned, right? I mean, they wouldn't expect anybody to use that.
Right. I mean, if you look at the photo essay on the Time magazine about Cabrini Green, though, there were some pretty, it was pretty drab. It was pretty drab. You know, they had gardens and stuff when they opened it, but then nobody maintained the gardens.
Oh.
The city didn't care about it. It was like, all right. That's usually what happens in social projects, you know. They just make them as cheap as possible, and then it's just, all right. Hey, look at Candyman, bitch.
Yeah.
If they had only cast Eddie Murphy as the Candyman, this movie would be completely different.
You gosh.
Yeah.
Have Uwe Boll direct it.
Yeah. Well, he retired from directing. He just said he had retired yesterday.
There, he said it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He really whacks her too upside the head.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, and that sound.
Yeah, you should see her eyes really swollen in the next shot too. Really,
It's good makeup.
And even after she gets better, one of her pupils is all red, and when the other one's, or one of her eyes is red and the other one's blue.
Yeah, this is the line. I can't. This for some reason I laugh at this scene.
Oh,
when
this
they
lineup.
have these guys. Yeah, but yeah, just the guys are saying it. This guy too, right?
Yeah, like,
How you looking for Candyman, bitch? Another movie that starts with something like this is The Usual Suspects.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
It's got a lineup where we meet every single character in the movie. They use it differently, but oh man, look at that makeup.
Yeah.
And Bob King.
Yeah, it looks so real.
Uh-huh. I was going to ask, is that the the same actor from Hellraiser 5? No, it's not. Never mind.
Or 6, you're talking about, yeah, he looks kind of like that cop, right?
Yeah, it's not him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this guy's a little older.
Yes.
It seems like in this movie, later on when he arrests her or whatever, nobody really ever gives her a chance to tell her story. You never once see her telling somebody, "No, I met this guy in the garage and I passed out and then I woke up and the blood," and it's like everybody.
Maybe she already said that.
Yeah, it could be just off camera or whatever, out of the wasn't filmed.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That scene after she gets arrested.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
she's
like
trying to tell him. She's like, "I was attacked. You don't understand." Yeah, and then they just.
Yeah, she just gets kind of dragged around and put here and sit down and do this, and there's no like interrogation, or it's kind of like we all kind of know that you did it or you're. Yeah.
I don't want to be involved in this.
Yeah.
He's mad. He's really giving her a fucking shit look.
Stink eye.
Yeah.
So Clive Barker said that this was Bernard Rose's baby from the beginning. So they shared an agent at CAA, and Clive Barker had seen Paper House, and he liked it, and so yeah.
And I think
he got this project.
I think this is the second pivotal kind of like terrible moment for Helen right here, convincing Jake that Candyman isn't real.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of like, all right, that's it, I'm coming after you.
That could be a catalyst, yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be like, yeah.
Well, because Jake was going to say that, go repeat that to people in the project.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, without his congregation, he's nothing.
Yeah.
Here's a quick bit of trivia from Fangoria 146. September 95. I think it was Clive Barker saying, "I remember at the first Candyman test screening, Bernard Rose went as drunk as a skunk."
I know. I read that same interview.
Yeah.
Oh, and
apparently this movie had a different ending to it. We'll get to that later, but David Anderson was telling me in the soundtrack linear notes that this had a different ending to it.
Huh.
Oh, okay.
We'll have to remember to get back to that.
Yeah.
And Jose, you were putting into the show notes because you had found the Siskel and Ebert review of Candyman, which it seems like it was weird. I just watched it before we started here, and Ebert was really positive about it until Siskel was like, "Oh, I don't like Candyman. He looks like a pimp." And then Ebert started going off on well, I think that they had one idea for this movie, and then some producer told him to put more gore in it, and Siskel was like, yeah, that's right. And it's like, where are you guys getting this from?
Yeah, they didn't read the story.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that there would ever need to be a director's cut of Candyman, because I think they made it exactly the way they wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Clive Barker grew up on listening to this sort of like urban legend stories. For example, there was a Spring-Heeled Jack that was supposed to be this almost Batman-like figure that would jump out from Liverpool ceilings and stuff that his grandma used to tell him about while they were in the fireplace. And he grew up on those kind of stories, and I guess that's kind of what kind of inspired him into doing like the Forbidden. I'm not going to say this for sure, but I think I remember him mentioning something about that. So if I find that particular interview, I'll let you know.
I don't think that Candyman looks like a 70s pimp.
I think that either. Especially, that jacket.
Yeah.
I know it probably kept Tony Todd. I bet Tony Todd was probably glad to work since, Jose was saying how cold it was.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it definitely makes an impression, I mean,
yeah.
It's imposing.
It's very striking.
Yeah.
Other movies, I don't think they use the same jacket, though. I think for the third one, it's a cheaper-looking jacket, right?
The second one's more black. It lacks the the collar.
Yeah, and then the third one looks bad.
Yeah, it's really just and the hook looks bad too.
Yeah, everything in the third movie was bad.
Yeah.
This is really interesting, this thing where he sort of mesmerizes her and she sort of gets dizzy and passes out.
And you're right by saying that her telling Jake that Candyman isn't real might have been the catalyst for this, because he says, you doubted me, and so I was obliged to come.
Now I must shed innocent blood.
Yep. They had a bee wrangler for this movie.
Yeah.
I thought you were joking, Jose, but Eddie Murphy was originally the choice for Candyman?
I was joking. Are you serious?
It says Eddie Murphy was the original choice for the role of Candyman on Wikipedia.
Oh my God, that's
But
hilarious.
the filmmakers could not afford him.
I promise I did not.
I
write
thought
that
you
into
were.
Wikipedia.
Yeah, okay.
That would
Oh,
have been
man.
that would have been a mistake.
It would have definitely been a different movie, though. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
To be fair to Eddie Murphy, he really wanted to be taken seriously more as an actor than he did. That movie, Vampire in Brooklyn, he wanted that to be scarier, but the
Oh
studio
yeah.
didn't want it to be. They wanted
Yeah, they're probably like, hey, we got an Eddie Murphy movie, so let's make it, funny or whatever.
I can imagine
but-
him going like, saying, "Be my victim."
Yeah, like.
Oh, gross! Look at that.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Oh.
pretty disturbing, man.
Yeah, and I kind of want to know what happened here. Like, who went and like dumped the dog blood into the baby's crib?
Candyman.
Yeah. It was
But that's a
Candyman.
weird. I mean, why is the crib filled with blood? Because the blood is all from the dog.
Right.
This is
Well, obviously, there's too much blood. A dog doesn't have that much blood.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just
But you should never ever pick up a murder weapon from the floor.
Never.
I know.
Yeah.
She does it a few times. Oh, God.
yeah.
Poor Anne Marie.
Just making it worse.
Yeah.
surprised the MPA let them keep that in the movie.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. You know, I was surprised a lot of the blood they let them keep in this
Yeah.
movie. It was
It's kind of weird.
Candyman's pretty gory.
Yeah, in horror movies, you can have people getting decapitated or explode or whatever. But if you show something that people can relate to more, it's way more gruesome. Like just getting like slashed in the arm.
I mean, I think they had to make a few cuts in this, and I think the Blu-ray that Jose was talking about earlier, it actually does have a few seconds of gore when that doctor, when she gets interviewed later, was killed.
Oh yeah,
But that's all they had to cut, I think.
Yeah, like blood coming out of his mouth and stuff like that. I think.
Yeah.
yeah.
They really, really cast the perfect like female officer for this scene.
Yeah, right.
She
was
looks
in a-
really like big and mean and
Yeah.
kind of like move your sweater.
She was in Jason Goes to Hell.
Oh really?
She does
She
look
was the
familiar.
cook. She was the cook in that movie of the
Oh,
restaurant.
Gotcha.
Mm.
Uh-huh. Does somebody end up with her face put into like hot oil or something?
She played the wife of that guy, guy
Okay.
you're talking about. She had her face like because she talked so much in that movie. She got her face like elbowed through her, her teeth were just shoved through her mouth. It was
Oh jeez.
Jeez.
a good death.
You know what's the best kill I've seen in like a Jason movie? It's that the prize fighter, the boxer guy.
Julius.
Yeah, it's the Manhattan one.
Oh,
I think.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
Jason. I love
He-
that.
Yeah, he goes like he punches Jason like a few times, and then Jason like punches him, and his head falls.
He's like, take your best shot.
Yeah, and the head just goes up in the air, falls on a ceiling, and then goes all the way down and falls into a dumpster, and the dumpster closes itself or something.
Yeah, it's pretty hard.
Just
That was
hilarious.
great. That was great.
But that scene that we just saw here in Candyman is pretty intense.
Yeah.
Virginia Madsen really showing her acting chops.
Yeah, and
It is.
at that point of the movie, the one thing I guess that always sort of bugged me about this movie is that I don't like it when a good character gets set up.
Mm-hmm.
And in this movie, she never really gets redeemed. Not very well. I mean, I think most people still believe that she's guilty.
Well, because, they caught her red-handed, literally.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
She even used the meat cleaver on not Bernadette, but the other, the lady. So it's like the cops got there and they caught her in the act. It's like, of course they would believe she's guilty.
Yeah, Candyman set her up really well. And who is that in that picture? And why is that girl student right there next to her? Or is that a picture of Helen?
That's Virginia
when she was
Madsen.
young?
Yeah.
That picture of her with the long hair was Virginia Madsen when she was young?
Yeah, you can tell that it's her. I mean, in the Blu-ray, you can tell.
Okay. Trevor's such a jerk.
Yeah.
He's off, being a bad boy.
Yeah.
With,
But you have to appreciate the extra mile on the set design. They even went and got like a picture of a wedding picture to put on the nightstand and stuff. That's attention to detail right there.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of lame, Siskel and Ebert saying this should have been a psychological thriller instead of what it is, and all this gore isn't necessary.
I think gore is necessary because, movie violence is not real violence. I mean, this is something that keeps popping up. People go like, oh, movie violence is bad for people and kids and stuff. It's like, well, movie violence is not real violence for starters. It's, you can't say that this movie's violent because it seems violent to you because they've done their job. They've done their job of making it believable. But, I think there's an entertainment value to movie violence. I mean,
I'm not going to go get a hook and then start killing people with it.
Yeah, exactly.
There's an element of art in the cinematic violence that you can't deny. It's part of the story. It's meant to shock. It's meant to give you an emotional response. And
it's the responsibility of the person, I think.
Of course,
individual person to take that individual.
Obviously, Ryan, you wouldn't play this movie for your kid. I mean,
right? Obviously. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's
although I think every one of us has seen movies we weren't supposed to see when we were kids, but we grew up to be perfectly functional individuals.
I don't want to hurt anybody.
Joey's only seen probably like 3 movies in his whole life so far.
My nephews used to grow up looking at the pinhead bust that we had back home.
Oh, yeah.
And I would just pick up my nephew and he'd be touching the pins and laughing at me. It's like, and I'm like, yeah, it's Pinhead.
Yeah.
I don't think I've traumatized the kid.
Joey's asked about Pinhead, too. He's like, who is that guy? Why does he have those in his head? And it's like, that's really hard to explain.
Yeah. I think Trevor may not believe her.
Yeah.
Or at least he's probably thinking, hey, I hit the jackpot, now I can divorce my wife.
Yeah.
Here's what Bernard Rose had to say about Candyman, that he's a romantic character, a dark, handsome lover who demands total surrender. I guess that's one way of looking at it. Dark, handsome lover that demands total surrender. All you got to do is die. If you love the Candyman, then you'll die. Nice curtains.
Jose, I'm going to send you a message real fast about the original ending of the movie.
Okay.
I just had to find it. It's in the podcast planning.
Okay, gotcha. So Bernard Rose also says that I wanted Candyman to get away from the rape fantasies that one associates with slasher movies. Helen deals with her desires when she summons the Candyman. She's like a priest who's always asking for God. But what would happen if God appeared and said, "Here I am"? That might be what the priest wants, but it could also drive him mad. That's a good point.
Yeah, there's a sort of a connecting thread here with other Clive Barker stories where people are curious and they poke into things that they don't understand, and then it changes their life for the worse.
Oh yeah. He also said that Candyman's thrust is metaphysical instead of political. He goes on to say, my element of social criticism asks how people can be expected to live in squalor because the housing authority has allowed Cabrini Green to rot instead of trying to maintain it. But Candyman really poses the question that if God exists because we believe in him, what would happen to him if the worship ceased? Would there be a 5-minute period where God is running on belief, and would he try to win his followers back? I guess that's something that, for anybody out there who deals into magic with a K, I mean, that's the whole point, is that if you believe in like an entity, then they exist.
Yeah.
She's getting a nice brew and a smoke here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't blame her.
Yeah.
She smokes a lot in this movie.
It was the 90s where
Yeah.
people still smoked in movies.
Yeah, indoors all the time.
Yep.
I don't miss that.
Yeah, I bet.
They used to do that a lot. Especially, we mentioned Hellraiser 3, Anthony Heckox.
Oh, yeah, jeez.
He was a smoker, and look how many people are smoking in Hellraiser 3.
Yeah.
And also another thing that shows you this is the 90s, slide projector.
Slide.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I've got one of those.
Gosh, nowadays you even have like little Pico projectors that you can put on a phone
Yeah.
or something. At least I know of a company that's trying to make a 4K Pico projector. That's going to be like a small thing you could hold in your hand.
I like this scene because it's quiet. There's no music or anything.
Yeah.
It's just.
Reminds me of that Blade Runner scene.
Oh,
well,
yeah.
he's, yeah, you're
Where
right.
he's going through his pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, telling that the thing that it was like a special machine that you spoke to it.
I like in movies when they're comfortable enough to let something take some time, something like
Yeah.
this. And it doesn't
I like that
seem to
she's
happen
enhancing.
so much anymore.
They don't
Yeah.
do that. Yeah, they don't do that anymore.
I love that she's enhancing the projection
Yeah.
to see like Candyman. She's putting him into focus, even though he's like maybe a few pixels
Right.
wide. Then she focuses on him, and you can tell it's Tony
Yeah.
Todd.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a cheat since the picture's not going to
Yeah.
change.
No,
Yeah.
you can't focus on the. Well, nowadays you can. I mean, there's cameras who have that light tunnel technology where
Yeah.
you can choose where to focus in the picture after you've taken it, which is
Oh, wow.
mind blowing to me.
It's another good scare.
So I guess how this works is that once you summon him, he'll come and he'll kill and he'll go away, and then you have to summon him again because.
Yeah. Except for Helen. I mean, he's pretty mad that she's taking his congregation away from him.
Right.
So he's gonna go take her along on a murder spree and make everyone believe again.
That scene with the hook coming out through the closet was a little cheap.
Yeah. Eddie Murphy's voice would not be the same. Tony Todd's voice has got a really kind of like hypnotic sound to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
even if they distorted that voice of Eddie Murphy's, it still would look
Yeah.
And the way they do the sound design for his voice, it seems like they put his voice in the foreground.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it sounds like he's talking right in your ear.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Even though he's like 10 feet away or whatever.
I have to say, I do understand what you were bringing up earlier, Ryan, that there's a baby missing and they let Helen go back home.
Yeah.
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 Keep an eye on her. Or they'd have a police outside her door.
Well, and they said that they were letting her go because they want to get her for murder, but they have to find the body of the baby first.
Right.
So here with she gets framed for Bernadette's murder, but obviously that kill wasn't done with a butcher knife.
I was going to say, it's obvious it's not a knife.
And that knife wouldn't even have her Bernadette's blood on it.
Also, didn't you just say there was a police officer outside her house?
No, I said I thought they should, if you're gonna let her go, you should have a police officer come with her.
Sure.
Keep an eye on her.
Make sure she doesn't go to Mexico or something.
Tijuana.
Yeah, God.
to hook up with Pinhead.
I'm so glad that we're done with that movie now. We may never have to watch it again.
I'm never going to watch it again. Just letting you know.
We've got Hellraiser Judgment coming up. That's bad enough, theoretically.
I think it's very realistic that she can barely speak in this scene because sometimes when you're overcome with emotion, you can barely speak. Yeah, and that's a good.
And she's fighting off passing out too, right? Oh, poor Bernadette.
Jeez. Yeah, no,
she didn't do anything.
It's not
wrong.
saying. I think it's just you can imagine how she's just getting torn to shreds.
Yeah.
Does your version have like a cutback to like Candyman's lair and the baby?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just really quick though.
And she's holding the knife again.
Oh, the knife does have blood all over it. Why does it have that? Candyman must have done it.
Yep. I guess you could argue the point, just like in the Universal Wolfman. Is that real, or is it all in her head? I guess for most of the movie, you can probably argue that it could be all in her head.
Right.
You don't like injections?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I heard you go.
When I was a kid, a doctor said, "I'm going to take your blood," and I thought they were going to take all of my blood and kill me.
Oh, wow.
So I said, "Are you going to give it back?" And they're like, "Ha ha, you're so funny," or whatever. But he didn't really answer my question.
Okay.
So ever since then, if I get blood drawn or whatever, I have to fight off passing out.
Okay.
It's just I just start getting dizzy and nauseous and stuff.
Yeah, that's kind of something that happens to you as a kid can stay with you for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And here's a part where I think the music takes over. I think this is one of the better pieces of music that Phillip Glass did. It's just kind of coming together,
Especially this sort of synth music works really well when you have driving scenes,
Yeah.
Yeah. And the helicopter too.
And the movie has been pretty silent so far.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the slow pace of this movie, and
the building tension,
Yeah.
The long shots like that, I mean. I miss that kind of stuff.
How many horror movies would you have a character getting just riding along in a car for this long?
Yeah, it's all you're getting information told to you, viewer.
Well, they cut that part out from Lord of Illusions when Swan and Harry are in the car because they thought, oh, this is too long. Let's just cut it. So I'm glad they didn't do that for this.
Yeah. Poor baby Anthony.
And this is one of those movies that you don't really need a director's cut because this is a director's cut. Nobody messed with it. Nobody fucked with the movie.
Yeah. As far as we know, I don't remember ever hearing anything about any kind of struggles like that. And Clive Barker said there's an interview at least on this special edition called Raising Hell, or Clive Barker : Raising Hell. And he says that with Candyman, he wanted to be the kind of producer that he wished he had on Nightbreed.
Oh, that's a good praise.
So it's kind of nice having a producer that's fighting for you to be able to make the movie that you want.
Yeah.
And I think that he did have arguments with people sometimes as a producer, but it was always for the better of the movie, and he would listen to them instead of dictating.
Well, unsurprisingly, because he knows what he wants to see. But for example, when he was a filmmaker, when he did Hellraiser, he didn't even know the first thing about directing a movie. So I guess he had to rely a lot on assistant directors and photographers and stuff to let him know how to do it.
Well, and I think it was talked about with Midnight Meat Train too, that he would kind of sit down and hash out stuff and argue a little bit with like Ryuhei Kitamura, and it was the same kind of deal that they would just kind of hash stuff out, and eventually he would say, "Okay, well, this is your vision, so let's go for it." But I kind of wonder with The Plague if that sort of style of arguing and hashing stuff out didn't work for him. if he just took it like, you're telling me what to do.
That scene that we just saw, Candyman looks like a dark angel just floating over.
Oh
her.
yeah, I love that.
And
What does he say to him?
What can we learn from the wicked except to learn from their excesses or something?
Yeah.
What do the good teach us, or what do the bad teach us? Except I forget now too.
Ask Cabrini Green.
I wish that video had actually shown Candyman. I don't know. I don't like that everybody thinks she's crazy and a murderer.
Because you like her,
Yeah.
Good character.
Well, and there's a little bit of inconsistency there because Candyman does register on her photo, but she's the only one who sees it. So you have to wonder, is she just seeing things because of Candyman or...
It's in her mind.
Because if he showed up in a picture, he would show up on a camera. But
Candyman lives right next door to Anne Marie. Why doesn't she hear Baby Anthony?
I never noticed that. That's a good point.
Yeah.
She'd be like, "Wait, I think my baby's right there in the next door."
Also, that hospital room is a little grimy on the walls.
Yes.
Reminds me of Chouinard Institute or something.
Yeah. And this guy's a real jerk. The bald guy.
Going to Disneyland.
Yeah. Oh, and he gives the guards a hard time too. Like he's so awesome compared to them. He's like, "What are you doing? Just reading a book over there?"
Well, it doesn't seem like this is a good hospital to begin with. Just look at the dirty walls.
Yeah.
Good way to get a hospital infection.
Yeah.
So the cinematographer for this movie was Anthony Richmond.
So this moment here is, I think, another one of the worst decisions by Helen.
Oh yeah,
actually say it.
Yeah, to say I can call him. I'll prove it to you. Like, this is a guy that's trying to help her. This is her fault.
But that's her only proof, really. I mean, it's out of despair.
Yeah, but at least get a bunch of people in there or something.
Uh-huh. Again, I guess this hospital doesn't have a lot of staff.
Yeah.
She's been there for a month.
I know, it's crazy.
I need 50 cc's of Thorazine stat.
Yeah.
They always say that in movies.
Actually, there was a trivia thing on IMDb about that where the guy said, like, I need 100 mils, and they're like, that's like gallons. So the guy said the wrong dosage or whatever.
100 milliliters is like a third of a can of Coke.
Or maybe he said, I need 1,000 mils or something like that.
Yeah, 1,000 mils would be a liter.
Yeah.
That would be a lot of Thorazine.
Yeah.
Yeah, like this scene is just a little too slow, I guess. And why does he need 4 monitors for that?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
He's like he's got his own editing bay right there.
Yeah.
They could have saved money and bought 1 color monitor instead of 4 black and white ones.
Yeah, gosh. And black and white monitors.
Yeah.
Nowadays, the whole idea of this would be, ridiculous.
Yeah. Now, this is a set, right? Because when he gets pulled back, Candyman, when he makes his entrance, gets pulled back through that is a...
Yeah, this is a set.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one goof that they mentioned on IMDb, that you could see the wires on Candyman. But I'm kind of like,
You can.
Yeah, that's okay. It doesn't... I don't think it hurts the movie.
Well, I mean, sure. I mean, you know that he's not really flying, but it takes you out of... It's a little jarring to see the wires. I mean,
Yeah.
It takes you out of the immersion in the movie. You're like, there's the wires right there. I just don't think that he had to necessarily like crash through the window on his way out.
Yeah,
I mean, they could have just made him disappear or something.
that's true. I think he wanted to show her the way to escape, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Or give her away too, yeah.
Yeah.
Because he just takes off like flying backwards. It's like, here I go, whee!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just goes through the window. And
Yeah, it is
just
cool
weird.
looking. Oh, don't do it, Helen.
Yeah, don't do it.
This guy is, in his own way, is just trying to help you. And look what you're doing.
Have you guys ever said Candyman 5 times in the mirror?
No,
Yes.
I won't do it.
I have. I've done it in the dark too.
No, I'm kind of superstitious about stuff.
But I won't say.
Bloody
But I won't
Mary.
say Bloody Mary. I will not say Bloody
Yeah.
Mary.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
It's funny because for me, like, I didn't grow up in the U.S., so whenever I heard about Bloody Mary, I was like, oh, really? That's funny. Like, I have no idea. I didn't hear that when I was a kid, so I guess I never stuck with that in my mind.
When I first saw this, that scared me. I was like, well,
Yeah.
what the crap? It
Yeah.
just was such a surprise. I mean,
Yeah.
Candyman just killed George Costanza.
Yeah, I know.
no,
He does look like him, and
He does.
Helen is acting all shocked. It's like you asked him to do this, is pretty much.
What is the deal with Candyman?
Yeah. What's up with that?
what up with that? Yeah.
There we go. And letting you go.
Yeah.
And this is where it finally, you can tell that she's not mad. It really, Candyman exists. It's not just in her head because
Yeah.
she got loose. How would she get loose without Candyman?
Yeah.
And there's no way to pin the murder on her this time. I'm sorry. I mean, she
Yeah.
didn't have a weapon in there.
Right. But it's still going to add to the mythology.
Yeah,
that somehow she did, and maybe, or I guess they could say, oh, maybe he undid her, restraints.
I like this person. She's like a nurse. She knocks out, and the person that they're helping is just the
Boom!
Face,
Yeah.
look on their face. It's like
Yeah. Yeah, fluttering
patient-
eyelids. Is that looks like Narcisse right there, that guy?
yeah, that guy. It's what I'm talking about. It's his.
Yeah,
He's going to go take me to Midian.
there's been several doctors over history that have been attacked by their own patients, especially in psychiatric situations. I guess one of the ones that I heard about was there was a Portuguese Nobel Prize of Medicine called Egas Muniz. He's supposed to be the guy who came up with the idea of the procedure for a lobotomy. He got the Nobel Prize for medicine for that, and
Wow.
for the discovery of the therapeutic value of leucotomy in certain psychosis.
Jeez.
That was, and then he was shot by a patient in 1949.
Oh, wow.
Yep, that happens. Also, there's a lot of stories about psychiatric doctors who end up becoming crazy themselves.
Serial killers, yeah.
Yeah, and they end up having to consult their own colleagues and be like, hey, I'm listening voices. I read an article about that. It's pretty interesting. So she ran all the way home.
Yeah, this is the saddest part of the movie. It's like this is she's relying on Trevor, and he's
Trevor,
so
yeah.
unreliable.
Just realized.
Yeah, Trevor's like, haha, my wife's nuts in the loony bin. I'm just going to paint the walls pink and bring in my 20-year-old girlfriend.
Yeah.
Which the relationship would never last anyway.
Oh yeah.
I mean, who the hell wants a house with the walls painted pink? I mean, for Christ's sake.
It had to have been her idea.
Yeah.
He's just letting her do what she
I mean, you deal with property, Ryan. Have you ever seen a house with pink walls?
Yes.
Oh my
Yeah,
God!
I've
you
had
have?
tenants paint an apartment pink without asking me.
Oh my gosh!
He's just looks.
I love the way he comes in and just says, "Did you make a boo boo?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he's so slimy.
Yeah.
He looks like he's got his robe on. He must have just got out of the shower.
Yeah. So at this point, Helen's kind of owning it, right? Like, she's like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to convince everybody that I'm innocent.
I love this line, the way she delivers it. Scared of something.
She's really intense in this scene too. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
really good.
She sort of goes back and forth between being intimidating and breaking down.
God, Trevor.
And then Stacy's just cowering in the corner.
She's crying.
Yeah.
Whoop. I was thinking about going with the My Little Pony theme for the apartment. Let me rephrase that. I was thinking about going with the My Little Pony theme for the apartment.
Yeah. And Trevor's like, yeah, that's great. Whatever you want to do.
Oh boy.
Looks like right there she's laughing.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's not a very good actress.
Yeah. No, not really.
Please don't kill me.
Yeah.
This is a very, again, a very intense scene. I really like this scene.
Me too.
She should have yanked the cord out of the wall.
Yeah,
This might be one of the Clive Barker adaptations with the best acting.
Yeah.
Even considering like movies like Nightbreed and stuff, I think
Yeah.
acting in this movie is really good.
Yeah. Well, and I think that Nightbreed is such a huge movie compared to this is a way more intimate.
Yeah,
So it's more like Hellraiser.
Sure.
definitely. Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, yeah, I guess Hellraiser does have good acting too, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I'm just surprised that nobody noticed her wardrobe on the way here. Maybe they thought she was just like a nurse going home with her scrubs.
Yeah, maybe so.
Probably. Yeah.
The police don't do a very good job trying to catch her.
Yeah.
This is another moment I like, where the Candyman's talking to her, and you got this music just.
Yeah.
You can tell it was
looks
cold.
It's, yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. She's like, I should have grabbed a coat.
Yep, that's the Randolph Street Bridge above the Chicago River.
Oh.
You can even see like the cold mist coming off from the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been to Chicago for about a week one time for a convention, a realtor convention.
Did you see that river?
No. I went on the waterfront though, the pier, and rode the giant Ferris wheel and stuff.
Oh, cool.
And I had a Chicago hot dog and Chicago pizza.
Oh, that's great.
Are they as good as they say they are in their own?
Oh yeah, they're
yeah.
great.
I never had a deep dish pizza.
I think that those deep dish pizzas are too much. Like I would get a little personal pizza and I could only eat like one piece because it's giant slab. It's too much cheese.
Oh, sure. Well, nowadays you got those things that are wrapped in bacon.
Oh, I know.
It's crazy. Like coming here, I mean, in my country, in Europe, in Portugal, we don't have restaurant ads on TV all the time like we do here in America.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, maybe the only food ads that I remember seeing in Portugal were McDonald's, Burger King, because that's what they do here. That's what they. But here, it's like they bombard you with so many like commercials for food. It's just insane.
Yeah, and food is so gimmicky. With like Kentucky Fried Chicken's gotten super gimmicky, and Pizza Hut, and Taco Bell too.
Hardee's? I don't mean to get on a tangent here, but Hardee's, they sell their hamburgers with sexy women doing sexy things.
Oh, really?
Oh, right. Carl's Jr. and Hardee's, right?
Yeah.
Usually, like 4th of July, there was like some commercial with a woman with a bikini with the red flag
Eating a hamburger.
Yeah.
in a truck and like fireworks.
Paris Hilton watching a car or eating a hamburger.
Yeah.
Strange.
Hey, it works, I guess.
I haven't seen any commercials since Joey was born.
You're not missing anything.
Yeah.
So finally, Helen is taking matters into her own hands.
Yeah.
It's like, well, let's see what we can find here.
Yeah.
That doesn't look like a set. That looks like they really shot at
In a condemned building.
a dilapidated apartment.
Yeah. And
Or like a factory or abandoned factory.
Yeah, something like that.
so I guess maybe if she's going this far away, I guess maybe Baby Anthony is kind of far away from Anne-Marie. But I thought it was just through that little doorway or through that little hole.
If Siskel would have noticed on the paintings, that's how he had that coat back then.
Yeah. And this painting style is a lot different from the painting style in, like, Candyman 3.
Right, because I guess it's supposed to be done by his followers, right? Like different people. Obviously, Candyman wouldn't be painting his own death.
Maybe not. I don't know.
So you guys wanted to know locations. I actually found some locations, like the opening credits, the helicopter shot over a road. That's Interstate 290 going westbound out of Chicago.
Oh.
Helen's apartment building, southeast corner of North LaSalle Street and West Schiller Street, Chicago. That amphitheater that we saw from the air that she was walking, that's in University of Illinois Chicago campus.
Oh, okay. Cool.
On 1200 Harrison Street.
So Candyman actually takes naps.
He's like a vampire, I guess.
Yeah.
I wonder if he awakens only when, like, people talk about the... Well, no, that wouldn't make any sense.
Oh, like when they say his name?
Yeah. But that...
Yeah, there's no reason for him to be asleep except for her to surprise him here.
Yeah. I love that little squirt of blood that just shoots out.
Also, another location, going to the rundown apartment building, Cabrini Green Housing. That was located on the particular building they shot was on West Walton Street, just west of North Orleans Street in Chicago.
I never noticed it, but he's crying in this scene.
Yeah.
I never noticed that.
He's really happy that she came back.
Yeah.
There's even a location for the disgusting bathroom, southwest corner of North Orleans Street and West Walton Street, Chicago.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully it doesn't really look like that.
This place has been torn down, and now there's a church standing on its location.
Of that bathroom?
Yes.
It's the Church of Candyman. and Jake is the pastor.
That's kind of weird.
Yeah, very sexual kind of, hook,
Oh, and you were asking if they shot in Cabrini Green. Actually, the exterior hallway and stairway scenes were actually filmed for a few days in the infamous Cabrini Green housing projects.
Oh, wow.
Though the producers had to make a deal with the ruling gang members to put them in the movie as extras to ensure the cast and crew's safety during filming.
Oh.
Even with this arrangement,
those were real gang members.
Yeah, they
even with this arrangement,
a
sniper put a bullet through the production van on the last day of filming, though no one was injured. The famous bee kiss.
Yeah, holy cow. I mean, people ask Tony Todd about the bees all the time, but Virginia Madsen had to do it too.
You know what's really funny? I'm watching it with subtitles and the sound turned off, and when they were kissing, a subtitle popped up saying "scrunching."
Yeah, yeah, it did really make like a bee crushing sound.
Yeah.
He said on the Blu-ray that Scream Factory put out for the second film, he had about a 30-minute interview with Tony Todd. He said all the bees had their own names.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Tony Todd also said to Cindy Pearlman of the Chicago Sun-Times in 2011, "I'll never forget that I filmed that movie in a building on the south side of Chicago, building 116 Unit C. That's the Candyman pad." Guess doesn't matter because Cabrini Green has already been imploded years ago.
Yeah. I did an interview on, I think, episode number 8 with Tony Todd, and we talked a little bit about the bees.
Oh, that's right.
And Valerie on the Stairs. We talked about that too.
Oh, that's a good one. We should probably, that would be a cool idea to make a commentary for that in the future.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know why we didn't think of it. Heichel's Tale and Valerie on the Stairs.
Yeah. I think Valerie on the Stairs is a really, really good episode of the Masters of Horror. I guess I like that one a little more than I did Heichel's Tale.
Yeah. Heichel's Tale, I mean, if you read the short story, it doesn't really seem like something that should be adapted into a movie.
Yeah. And the script for Valerie on the Stairs was actually published in parts at Revelations, CliveBarker.info.
I think I'll go visit Anne-Marie right now. You might as well, you're right there. You could just knock on her door and say, hey, how's it going? Remember me?
That bonfire, when they shoot him from above, it looks like just a pile of garbage. Doesn't look nearly as big as when they actually go there.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not a bonfire. That's a mountain.
I know. It's like, and it's all, there's like metal desks and stuff in there. Mattresses. Yeah.
That's nuts.
Candyman was kind of a jerk to put baby Anthony in there. If he had just rescued the baby or, got the baby back to Anne-Marie, then she would have said, yeah, you can kill me now.
Well, you have to think this is like a supernatural transfer thing that Candyman does, because otherwise people would have heard the baby scream.
Yeah.
Along the day. I mean, it's like he just started crying now to get her attention.
Yeah.
It's like Candyman just transported the baby there and is waiting for her. Yeah, someone threw a bike in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's bikes. There's all kinds of crap in there.
Yeah, stuff that's not really that flammable.
I like the kid, like...
There's a toaster in there.
Yeah.
Sounds like Candyman is haunting someone's desk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing that I take out of this is that the kid says he's here, and then he calls his friends, and they all go with gasoline and stuff. But wasn't that bonfire meant to be for like a party or something, like some sort of festival or whatever?
Yeah, but I think it's like he convinced them that Candyman was in the bonfire, and they all want to be rid of him.
I guess, yeah. I saw his hook.
Yeah.
Hey,
No, you didn't.
Like the lynch first. Just Candyman.
Burn him.
Yeah.
Curious to know how they shot these scenes.
Yeah.
The inside, obviously it was controlled on the set somewhere.
Cabrini Green's Burning Man.
I'm glad that Candyman didn't turn into a direct-to-sequel or direct-to-video franchise like Hellraiser.
It kind of did a little bit.
Well, only a short. I mean, only one bad movie.
Sure.
That's not too terrible. I mean, I think that.
Okay, unpopular question. Would you guys be up for a Candyman remake?
No.
Okay.
I heard they were gonna do one, but I wasn't in favor of it. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. This movie's really good.
Yeah.
I would like to see Candyman return though, in some form.
Yeah. I just.
Although the story really, you're right. What is there to say?
I like the idea of remaking a movie that was really hard or they didn't quite get it right the first time because of technology or whatever. But I mean,
sure, but I'm not talking about a remake anymore. I'm talking about I would like to see it return somehow.
Yeah.
But like Rob was saying, yeah, Rob, you're coming in very, very low.
Yeah, Rob, we can't really hear you.
Okay, is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, that's better. Oh my God, hair's on fire.
Yeah, so they are trying to help her, and they realize at least that she rescued the baby. But do they hear Candyman right now?
Were y'all surprised that she died? I didn't really think she would die, but when I saw her burn like that, I was like, man, she's really messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I figured that she would die because when that beam on fire fell on her, I was like, well, she's done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw those
Yeah,
are
she's really kind
third
of
degree.
a martyr.
Yeah,
That's a really cool effect.
I like that shot.
And this is another sort of Clive Barker theme that Helen kind of caused all these problems with Candyman by doubting him and by, snooping around with him. But she also was kind of the savior at the same time.
I just wish they didn't show this shot of the burning corpse at the end because I'm like, you can't really burn a ghost, I mean, I would have been happy with the bees burning, but showing that body burning in there, just seems out of place.
And the director is coming up here in a second. He has a cameo.
Oh, really? Oh, is he the guy standing next to Purcell?
Yeah.
There's somebody in the credits named what is it? Archie Walsh. So who's Archie?
I guess that might be him.
Yeah.
I think he was in that earlier scene when they were all talking about,
Oh, sitting around at dinner?
I think he was.
There he is.
Yeah. Maybe he's Archie.
Well, does IMDb list his name as Archie Walsh?
I don't know. I just saw the credits said Archie Walsh, but I didn't.
Yes, it is. Bernard Rose. I just checked. Yes, that's him. It's kind of, I mean, I know that they think about all the backstory for their movie a lot, but for the director to actually give his cameo character a name, that just seems unnecessary,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there might have been an Archie character in the short story.
Uh-huh.
Maybe that's why.
Okay,
That
it looks
sounds
like
familiar.
Green.
Yep, they're
Cabrini
all.
Green
You're all late.
Yes.
Yeah. I kind of feel bad for her, Nobody really came to her funeral, I mean,
I like
no
Jake's
family
bow tie.
or
Yeah.
nobody did.
And that's the real Candyman hook, not the one that Helen dropped on the ground.
Clunk.
Yeah.
So, what was your take on the ending, Ryan? That this was them paying respect to her?
Yeah, that was the question. Are they paying respect and saying, "Hey, you saved, baby Anthony," or are they saying, "Oh, we know you're the real Candyman"?
So the message that you just sent me while we were watching this, Rob, you're talking about the ending, and it says here, the ending of Candyman did change, though. The shot was supposed to go through the painting, and we would see Helen stuck in the wall covered in bees. I guess you're talking about the painting that's going to show up at the end here.
Yeah.
But this part would have been the same then, with her coming back and Trevor and all that?
Not sure.
After all this happens.
Oh, okay.
No, it didn't, because at the end of
Stacy's
this,
got a see-through shirt.
Yeah, and no bra.
Yeah.
no bro.
She's wearing mom jeans.
Yeah.
That's
And
right.
She's really mad.
Do you notice that big ass pin on the wall? She must be like a very artsy fartsy girl. It's like a big pin, like what do you call it? Like how to keep when you keep papers together.
Oh,
We
yeah.
call this like a clip. Sorry, not a pin,
Yeah.
but a clip, paper clip.
He's like, why, oh, why did I think with my dick?
Yeah, I know. He's.
Yeah.
I feel for Trevor in this moment a little bit. The actor makes it. Does a good job of portraying a guy. It's like, man, I really fucked her over.
Yeah.
I like the way she's like handling the meat.
Yeah, and
The knife.
yeah, it's a good kind
Yeah.
of cross between what's gonna happen. And her.
Yeah.
Splat. Yeah, I know what you mean, Ryan. Hear what she says, "Oh, Helen," 5 times. It does seem a little forced when you hear it. I mean,
Yeah.
usually people just say like 3 times or something. I mean, like, oh,
Or once.
whatever. The 5 times seems. And why does he turn the light while he's still in there? I guess he doesn't want to see himself cry. Or maybe he's thinking back to the Candyman myth, which is the most likely explanation.
If you think about it that way, that's not too bad.
I like this her turning into like the Candyman or the Candy Woman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But but this the Helen Candyman never comes back.
I was wondering if they ever did try. See that big clipper on the wall there?
Oh,
She's
yeah,
walking-
right.
Oh man, she messed him up.
Man,
Okay, bring the super soaker with the blood. We gotta hose this place down.
Yeah, they did. That would have been fun. Set some dress.
we just painted that bathroom pink.
The original ending, I think, is at the painting. It would go into this. It would kind of show her covered in the bees.
Covered in bees. Not the bees. Virginia Madsen said she went through hell for that shot, but then they didn't use it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
So Candyman is it's a timeless classic. It'll hold up probably long after we're all gone.
Yeah.
It'll still be, so.
Yeah.
I wonder if this painting was done after they took her out of the bonfire, and then the people of Cabrini Green decided to honor her.
Giving her a painting,
Yeah.
It looks more yeah, I like that.
Lovely.
I'm curious to know. I was wondering wonder why they never went with a sequel about her. I mean,
Yeah.
Maybe that would have been more interesting. I don't know.
Maybe Virginia Madsen didn't want to do it. Or,
Just like Claire Higgins didn't want to be the evil Julia for...
Because, yeah, that's a good point. Barker likes to have female,
protagonists.
Yeah, protagonists.
Yeah,
And-
but the audience wouldn't have wanted that. I mean, they would have wanted Candyman to come back.
Yeah. Bernard Rose did say he adapted a screenplay for Candyman 2, but it was really Midnight Meat Train.
It was called
Candyman.
Candyman 2, the Midnight Meat Train, and Clive Barker was like, how are you expecting to do this?
Yeah, I'd be curious to read that script. I mean, did he even mention Candyman in it? I mean, did he?
Yeah.
So.
That seems like it would have been a real struggle to mix it together and make it work.
Yeah.
So there you go. There was some computer-generated imagery by Digital Magic.
Yeah.
Maybe those scenes with the bees coming out of the bonfire and stuff like that.
Image animation.
Supervisor Gary J. Tunnicliffe.
Yeah.
I guess that's when they kind of splintered off from image animation and he started doing his own thing. They had set security. Yaji's bodyguards and security.
And there were two bee wranglers.
Yeah. Go ahead, Rob. Sorry for interrupting you.
No, you're fine. I was just going to say, what is the name of Gary's effects company now?
I think it was 2 Hours in the Dark.
Okay.
Oh.
Post-production accounting. Entertainment accounting, Inc.
I always wonder what these people do, like the gaffer and the best boy and the best boy grip. I never know what this is. I mean, I know what dolly grip is, but I need to read more into what these things are.
Yeah, some of them are like gophers, but I don't really understand exactly what the distinction is between those different ones.
So there you go. Post-production sound facilities was Skywalker Sound, a division of LucasArts Entertainment Company.
Yep.
HX.
So this is a Star Wars movie, basically.
I think everybody uses that still.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think that Disney doesn't own that, right? It's still George Lucas.
They didn't buy that.
Well, I really enjoy this. Ryan, do you have that link to the YouTube Siskel and Ebert video?
Yeah, I can put that in there. If you didn't...
Okay.
Did you put it in the notes already?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I put it in the podcast. I sent a link in the podcast message.
Excellent.
Okay.
So we have some show notes here that we're going to put after this. And, again, thanks for joining us for this commentary track of Candyman. And I hope you enjoyed it.
Have a good Halloween.
Yeah, next one will be Candyman 2.
Yeah, have a great Halloween, guys. We'll see you after Halloween.
All right.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
You can find the show notes for this page and lots of Clive Barker news and features at www.clivebarkercast.com. Leave comments there or get them directly into the podcast by clicking the Send Voicemail tab on the right. Please follow us on Twitter at BarkerCast or at Occupy Midian. Like us on Facebook and join the Occupy Midian Facebook group. You can listen on the site or subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn, TuneIn, Pocket Cast, Google Play, and Double Twist. Subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Please take a couple of minutes to leave us a review on iTunes. It means the world to us and helps us spread the word about Clive Barker. The Clive Barker Podcast, or BarkerCast, is an independent editorial fan site and podcast that is not affiliated with or under contract by Clive Barker or Seraphim Films. This is a labor of love by the fans for the fans.
Thanks for listening.